What's up, guys? It is Will here, back again with another handsome, amazing, beautiful, awesome panel here. We got Optical 20 and Sir Keco, the man himself. We're going to talk about some fun stuff tonight, guys. You know, Lights, Camera, Collect every Friday, 5:30 p.m. Eastern. That's just what we do. Talk about the figure releases, talk about other stuff, philosophy, all the good stuff that, you know, we love talking about on this show. Even some of the stuff maybe that, you know, we don't always get into. But this time we will. We're going to get into the... you know, the down and dirty of it. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty fun. I don't mean to make that sound too perverted, but
I really don't want to go down.
Well, we're going. Optical. How you doing tonight, man?
Fantastic. Until you said that down.
Well, you're here now, so you can't back out.
Yeah, I guess
you already signed on the dotted line, bro. So, but yeah, man, happy to have you here. By the way, Optical, we got to get you back on Battlefront with us, bro, because we got to kick your son off, you know, and get you back on the party with us.
Or you can play with him. Somebody,
I sent him an invite. Him an invite last time. He didn't accept it though. So, and Carlos messaged him.
He messaged him. I was like, he's 5. He can't read.
He can't read. I saw you message back. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, man, happy to have you. We'll have some fun talking about the stuff we're going to talk about tonight. Sir Keco, happy to have you back, man. I think it's been 2-3 weeks. Has it been?
It's been. I missed one episode. I was like 3 in a row, and then I missed one episode to do my horse whispering stuff last week, and then I got the invite again. And who are you gonna call? Me. Here I am.
House of the Horse, dude.
House of the Horse, baby.
Yeah. House of the Nay. So, yeah, man. It's going to be a fun show. Like I said, Keco's back, and yeah, with a beautiful display behind you and Optical. You guys are really showing me up here.
I will say I am a little discouraged because the sun is setting, and it's piercing through. That's why I'm like glowing right now. Like the lighting is not ideal right now, but eventually in the next 30 minutes or so, all the lights will be able to kick back in. We'll be able to get the nice effect going. But right now, I'm being like washed out because it's golden hour almost here.
Hey. Golden hour, that's what they call it. So yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they have another name for it.
Familiar with that? He's in prison.
Yeah, right. Keco, Optical and I played a Prison Break game once. We learned a lot. So
yeah. I can imagine.
Yeah, man.
Like,
we
life experiences and stuff.
Yeah,
not just golden hour.
Right. Yeah, there's every hour is golden hour there. So
oh boy.
Yeah. So yeah,
it was Kelly in the house.
Yeah, right. It was pretty crazy, Keco. So we're up to. We got to finish that game, by the way. We got to finish that.
Yeah.
I wonder how off topic we'll get tonight. It's already off to a great.
We're already 2 minutes and 40 in, so you know, let's just see how it goes.
It's bound to happen.
Let's address the chat real quick. Mark Attack, what's up, Mark Attack? Let's go. TikTok Professor. I know Bob Dylan. We were like 2.5 minutes behind, but that's better than some other streams that I have been on, even my own, where we've been very late. So it's all good. Maniac Collects. What's up? Channel member Maniac Collects. Thanks so much for joining, man. Prime Time Reviews. What's up? What's up, Prime Time Reviews? Javier Feezy Figures. What to do? Collecting Crew. Happy Friday, LCC. Let's go. I always love the abbreviation. Makes it sound so official. Comics Swag. What's up, Comics? Riley Reviews. What's up, Riley? Good to see you, man. What's up, guys? Where's my rent? Riley, you ain't getting rent, bro, because you got to pay your own rent. So you pay your own rent, and then we'll give you ours. Let's see. Tyria. Salutations. Thanks so much, Tyria. AJ Agarusa, channel member. Thanks so much. Riley, channel member too, by the way. What's up, AJ? Sup, Will? Any Will rewards points available, or should I be watching the sideshow stream? No reward points here, but is there a sideshow stream right now? They're competing with us directly. So I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, I know. We're doomed.
Collusion.
I know, right? Collusion is against it. This some kind of conspiracy. Excuse me, Sir Keco. Absolutely. Sir Keco. That's him. Ganesh. I'm gonna try to get this. Ganesh Paramanthan. I don't know.
Or you just give up, Will.
Yeah. Ganesh Paramanthan. That's what I'm gonna go with. Ganesh, thanks so much for joining, bro. Mark Attack came for the collecting side to save that foxy smile. Thanks so much, bro. Appreciate the compliment. That's high praise coming from Mark Attack over there. Let's see. OG Mando, what's up, Avery and one of my boys? What's up, Odin 00 or 01? Christian Lopez, what's up, Christian? The Nay House, absolutely, bro, absolutely. AJ said Keco is cutting out a special corner of this show just for him. Yeah, pretty much, man. He's you know, those
as we said last time, lights, camera, Keco. That's
yeah, right. Lights, camera, Keco. That's what it is now. And then lights, camera, Keco optical tonight. So we'll see how that goes. The Keco tips look extra frosty. They did, man. He had a week off, so you know that's what
I actually just responded and told him that next week I'm getting them redone officially because it needs.
How often do you have to have them redone, Keco?
See, we got some roots down here. Depends on how much root you want to have. You know, I kind of go to get them I guess bleached, if you want to call that. Bleach and tone is what they call them officially. But I get that done every like 4 or 5 months. But I get like my hair cut, trimmed up and such, probably every 3 weeks.
Nice. See, optical. You don't have the frosted tips, but do you get yours cut like once a month? I don't have a net hair in a while.
Sounds like a lot of work, man. I just let it grow.
Really? Okay.
I just let everything grow.
See, with mine, bro, it's like shaving it every 2 to 3 days because it'll grow, man. So it grows pretty long.
You get that skull crusher or something.
Skull crusher. I need to, man. I need to. Leighton Richards, yo, how's it going, Legends? Thanks so much. We appreciate you calling us Legends. That's a first, but we appreciate it, bro. Ryan Horizon, good evening to all. Hope you're all good, guys. Thanks so much, Ryan. Channel member, appreciate it, bro. This fucking username, Dixie Normus. What's up, peeps? How's it going, bro? How's it going? And I think that might have been Hugh Janus last time.
I was gonna say Hugh Janus. Sorry, was always the one before, but this one might take the cake on that.
Yeah, that's a pretty good username. Happy Friday indeed. Happy Friday indeed. So Oliver Pilgrim, hello everyone. Word Photography. Hey guys, happy Friday. Let's see. Walden said, "In art Aragorn, baby, give me." I know, man. I know. Really excited to see that. Brand said, "Where's my Kratos 1.6? Damn it, dude." Brandon, channel member, thanks so much, bro. Hoping to see that soon. I know Mondo made one optical, and I think someone else is making one now. So
there is. I think that's third party.
Yeah, it's a third party. Yeah. But hopefully it's good. So we'll see. Tully, yo, WillFoxification, what up, bro? Hope your Friday is rocking so far. Thanks so much, Tully. You too, bro. You too. It just says it's really important to me to get my tips done. Yeah, bro. See, all about the shaving head. So, guys, let's jump straight into this. We got Optical put out a preview video for this. So I feel like we have to talk about something that is, I guess, kind of divisive because the Black Widow just dropped. Blogger photos came out last night. This is the Black Widow from the solo film, Black Widow's first solo film. And I think this is a pretty cool suit. I don't want to sway too much of the panel's opinion on this one, but I think this is in that 5 to 10% downgrade range that usually is satisfactory for most of us. But for me, this head sculpt doesn't really look like Scarlett Johansson. So I don't know if maybe I'm too particular with this one, but I mean, I see it, but I don't know. I'll go after you guys. That's all I'm going to say for now, leading topic. Optical. What do you think, dude, about this Black Widow? Are you satisfied if you would have bought this? Or are you just going to wait? What do you think?
I had no plans on buying this to begin with because I do have the Endgame Black Widow, and one Black Widow is enough for me. Like I don't need to collect every Black Widow out there. Now, would I have bought it? Like, let's say if it's significantly upgraded to what I have, then yeah. But the head sculpt is the same as Endgame. It feels like it's just different hair. Like if you break it down to just the face and take out the hair, it looks like the same one. It's just different paint. Like she does have. It looks like she aged a little bit here. And I know I said it on the video and somebody commented, it was like, well, technically this is before Endgame. It was like, yeah, but this was shot after Endgame. So she was older too.
Yeah, right.
Like the actual actress was older when this was shot. So I think kind of reflects that. It's not horrible. Like I've looked at the forums and they're just like, well, we got bamboozled. Like, like the head sculpt is different. It's like, it's the same. It got downgraded. But I feel like it's the same. Maybe got downgraded by 5-10%, sure, but it is what we thought it was, which is in my case not so much. It wasn't a significant upgrade to warrant me to sell my Black Widow to get this. So I'm, and this is not the same case as Taskmaster for me because when Taskmaster I was like, I'm not gonna buy that for $250. Buy it for $127 though. But this one, even if it goes down to $127, I might not buy it only because I do have Black Widow. Like, why do I need to? But as if you don't have one and you make me choose between this and the Endgame, I don't know, because I have a lot of Endgame figures, so I probably would still pick Endgame, and that is what, like $60 cheaper, and it's not that much difference in my opinion. I mean, unless you really love the movie, perhaps, or you want this hairstyle. But overall, I think it's what we thought it was gonna be. So I disagree with the outcry, but hey, we all have our opinions. But yeah. it is a solid figure in my opinion, pretty solid.
Yeah, I get what you mean. So Keco, fill us in on your thoughts, bro. What do you think about this Black Widow? Are you satisfied or not?
I'm satisfied, and the outrage is always the people mad because they didn't get the figure they wanted. Because whenever something is released, everyone automatically runs to complain about what they wish would have come out. And a majority of people weren't wishing for their Black Widow. They were wishing for something else. And I think a large majority of people are just butthurt every single time they see something that's not theirs. And so all that being said, if you go back to the original Avengers 1 Black Widow, this is far superior to that. And to think that it's not is just lying to yourself. And could they make adjustments and things from the prototype? Sure, naturally, that's the way it's always going to be. But if you're looking at this, I'm a big fan of the sculpted hair, because forever they bitched and moaned about, look at I don't want Barbie dolls, I don't want these things. And so then they finally gave us the sculpted hair on Endgame, okay? But I'm gonna be honest with you, that like ghetto looking ponytail thing that she has on the Endgame one, I want this hair sculpt on that one. And this also has the iconic gold belt, essentially on that. I really like that. And the Stinger wrist pieces, that if you're looking for a comic movie accurate figure, that's this. And are you really going to say that that's not Scarlett Johansson? And as I say every single time, the people that complain are never getting it in the first place. Now, will I end up getting this one? No, because the White Widow, I think, is the better, superior figure and head sculpt and hair sculpt, but we don't know how the head sculpt's going to be. It might just be this, literally, with, the longer hair. But I like it. It's okay to me. And everyone's like, well, you shouldn't pay that much for something just to be okay. That's the way they act sometimes. But to me, I'm looking for a good figure to fill out my shelf, to people to walk by and say, wow, that's a really cool looking figure. Not to it's like, gee, is that Walmart Scarlett? No one is going to say that. They know exactly. No one's going to say that. I don't know. The people that complain, as I said, will never get it in the first place. I'm not getting this one. I'm getting the white one, but misplaced anger, because they're mad they didn't get the figure that they wanted. Everyone wants Padme, everyone wants all the other things that they've had on pre-order. Where's Scarlet Witch? All that stuff. And they got this one. So the White Widow's coming for me. Yelena's coming for me. Those are the ones I'm looking forward to. No big deal. But this is an upgrade from Avengers 1. Don't lie to yourself and say it's not.
Yeah. That's interesting, Keco, because I feel like I might be this is like the one time I guess that we've been on opposite ends here, because okay, I think this is the best Black Widow.
Let it out, baby.
Yeah, I think this is the best Black Widow that's been made, period. I think this is the best Black Widow that I've seen. It's the closest to Scarlett Johansson. It's the best one they've made. At the same time, Keco, I do feel like I do fit into the box you described a little bit, because I was probably never going to buy this, right? I was probably never going to get this Black Widow. So maybe I'm being critical in a sense of this was never going to be a figure for me, probably, unless it came out like really, really good or something. But Black Widow, to me, like I like her character, but do I love her character? Probably not, right? Like
I literally only have one. I have like four of every other figure almost, but I only have one, and it's the Endgame one, because I thought that was her final moment, and then plot twist, she's back.
Nope.
And that's why I'm going to get the white version, because I'll have the white version, I'll have the Endgame one, and then I'll feel like my Scarlet Shrine is set up. So yeah, I feel you on that.
Yeah, because I think with Black Widow, for most people, she's probably going to be like you and Optical both described, the type of character that you really only need one version of. So I don't think if people have Endgame, they're going to go and be like, oh, I need this one, right? Or if you have even another one, like maybe Age of Ultron or something. Yeah, this one's much better than that one. But if you only need one, I don't know, maybe people will upgrade with that. But if they, like Optical said, if they have Endgame, they're probably not upgrading, right? So I think it's probably not going to be something that goes there.
Now, I may piece out the gold belt and put that on my Endgame one. I want the gold belt. I do want that. So
that is pretty cool.
If people are selling the gold belt and the gold wrist pieces, hit me up. I'll pay you for those.
Yeah, and this is my favorite suit, Keco. Like I do really like this suit. I think to me though, I think there's a formula with this. Like if you love the character, you're more willing to accept maybe a subpar product that's maybe slightly disappointing or at least average at best. I think what most people were hoping for. I don't think anyone ever thought the Proto was like absolute fire. Like I think everyone thought the Proto was like pretty good, right? And I guess maybe we all expected them to kind of upgrade it without really complaining. And that's not really what Hot Toys does. They upgrade it when there are complaints. They're more reactive than proactive. So for me, I feel like this is going to sound a little bit conceited, but if you don't love the character, I think you're much less willing to accept a mediocrity in a head sculpt. Because if you love the character, like if Loki comes out and he looks at this quality, right? I'm still going to buy it because it's Loki. But if it's Black Widow, I'm not going to buy it because it's not great. It's not blowing me away. And I think, with all collectors worrying about space and budget and income and how many you want of a certain figure, if the figure's just okay, then you're going to see a lot of people passing on it. Unless it blows you away where you're like, this figure's absolutely fucking incredible. I need it, right? And Black Widow is maybe not on that level of character, and this sculpt is not on that level of sculpt. But I do agree, Keco, it's clearly the best sculpt that's been done. It's the closest. I don't feel it looks nothing like her, but to me, this is like a very average Hot Toys figure. Like, I think this is like, there's nothing exceptional about it. And that's kind of what maybe just the character and maybe just kind of what pulls me away from it. It's the best Black Widow, but what does that really say if it's
it looks
not?
like a 37-year-old Scarlet, which is what she is. And I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, and I get that.
And if I look that good in 37, I'm going to be just fine.
Bro, I hope I look that good at 37. So, but for me, man, yeah, like Optical, what do you think about this? Like, I mean, do you think, because this is one Optical that you would not pay retail for, I'm pretty positive, but you would probably buy it for 150 maybe?
Probably not, because like I said, this is not Taskmaster where you have one Taskmaster and I want a Taskmaster in my collection. I have a Black Widow, and this is like you said, I agree, this is the best Black Widow, but by how much to the end game? Maybe by a point, half a point. Is that enough for me to share? You know what I mean? Like, I get what you're saying, because I did buy Aragorn from Asmus, and that is
exactly
because I do love the character. If you love Black Widow, you don't even need to listen or watch a review. You're probably going to buy this anyway because you want every Black Widow iteration. Now, if you're a casual collector of Black Widow, let's be honest, if you're not a Black Widow fan, you're buying Black Widow and Hawkeye to complete the Avengers. That is it. That is the sole purpose of them buying it. You're not going to single them out. It's like, I'm going to put them in its own case. No, you got them to complete a lineup. With that being said, I've accomplished that. I have a Black Widow and I have a Hawkeye. They're not as good as this, but they're not as bad as the first one. So with that being said, I'm okay with a middle Black Widow. So unless that's why I said earlier, unless you don't have one, then maybe pick this one up. But with that being said, Black Widow Endgame is still available for $60 less. So if I'm starting now, I'm going to take a hard look at that before this, because that is going on sale for $180 if you go on BST. So it's a big savings, So
yeah, and like Keco had referred to, it's going to be the same head sculpt even with the white version, just different hairpiece. So it's going to be, there's no reason to really change it, because I think some people are upset, but there's not enough of an outcry like there was with Doc Ock or with Tony Stank,
not at all,
or whatever. It's Keco, it's not to that level. So Hot Toys is not going to, especially not now, this late in the game. So they're not going to alter it. So, but yeah, I mean, I have it for the people that are getting it. Just for me, yeah, it's going to be a pass. But Kiko's probably right. It probably would have been a pass for me regardless. So sculpt is meh, in my opinion. Pedro Lopez, love the avatar, by the way. Thanks so much, bro. Sculpt is meh, in my opinion. Very timely. I'm only getting this because I'm a bit biased. See, and that's kind of my point. That I feel like with any, like Obstacle, I had the CC Toys Last of Us figures. I fucking loved them because it's Joel and Ellie, right? But if I didn't love Joel and Ellie, I'd probably look at those and be like, I don't know about that, right? Like, but that we are blinded by our love for a character, and there's nothing wrong with that. So for the people out there that love Black Widow, like Optical said, you're not even going to think twice. You're going to get this because it's the best Black Widow that exists. So I don't know, but there's a lot of factors, I guess, to consider. Guys, let's move on to another one. This is going to be another fun one because we're going to talk about Echo. Echo being a strong release. And Optical, I'm going to jump to you first again on this one. This is the Hot Toys Echo from Bad Batch. What do you think about this? As someone I know who has not watched Bad Batch, because if I haven't, I know you have. So I know,
guys, come on, y'all.
I know, Keco. You gotta bring us home on this one, Keco, afterwards. But Optical, what do you think, bro, about this Echo? Does this look solid to you? What are your overall thoughts?
As a figure, it does. Like as without me watching the show, we can do that. Like the two releases from Hot Toys from that international movie, badass figures, right?
Oh,
I've never seen the movie, but I can honestly say they look cool. If I watch the movie and I like it, I'll buy it right away because just as a figure. So I'm judging this as a figure. Looks pretty good. Like even though you'll say that it has the same mold as any what do you call that? Trooper or whatever the case is. It looks cool. Unless you've watched the show, I suppose. How much is this for? 285, 270?
Yeah, I think 285. Yeah.
285. So I don't know what, because I know like last week we did we kind of mocked the the Inquisitors or something.
Is that the name?
We'll be like, hey man, even if they sell for 200, I still got to fork out 800 to do this. With this, I don't think it's the same case as this because this guy alone looks pretty badass.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and till you find out that he needs his other friends, then you'll be like, oh shoot. But without me knowing anything, I was just all right, maybe if this goes down to 150, I'll buy it, and he'll just stand there and look badass until somebody tells me, it's like, hey, where's his friends? It's like, oh, he does have friends. It's like, yeah, there's like 7 of them. How many? I don't know. 4? There's like 4 of them. Whatever.
Yeah, something like
I'm not gonna watch it.
Yeah, there's a decent amount.
Yeah, so you'll be like, all right, they'll be like, oh, cool. But yeah, I mean, as a standalone release, I think it's pretty cool. If you watch the show, I don't know, I'll probably buy it if I did like the show, you know.
Yeah. I mean, if you like the show, and I've heard mixed things. That's why I got to ask Keco. Bad Batch. I know you're the resident Bad Batch watcher on the panel here today. Yeah. But with Echo, does he have like a strong presence in the show? Is he a cool character? Is this figure pretty accurate to him?
Well, here's the thing, and I'm gonna be that guy and go world building and lore and things like that. Dude. And I'm going to be gatekeeper a little bit, you know, for the canon nuts out there. So keep in mind, you know, that ARC Trooper 5s and Echo were the original ARC Troopers. Okay. And at one point, Echo is assumed dead. Okay. And so that's why he's kind of all cybernetic at this point, because they do a rescue mission to get Echo back. And so the way that they essentially save him is turn him into a cyborg at this point. And so this Echo is far different from the ARC Trooper that we saw during the Clone Wars. So with that being said, I'm going to talk 2 things about Bad Batch and then about this figure. All right, we'll start with Bad Batch because I think it's a really, really cool show, because at the first time you're like, I don't know if I can deal with, you know, the flavor of the week where you have to babysit the little kid, accomplish some side missions, things like that. That's not what this show is. Yes, there's a little kid in it, you know, but she is, you know, part of the storytelling, that advances the storytelling. But I knew it was a different show when Crosshair, who is part of the Bad Batch, defects to the Empire. Spoiler alert, everybody. You know, because they're thinking about whether or not they need to continue on now that the Empire is here, because this takes place after Order 66. So now that there's the Empire, there's no need for clones. So Crosshair says, I'm going to join the Empire to find purpose again. And it was a different show when they send him out specifically to kill civilians and women and children. When I was like, oh, wow, this is pretty awesome. Oh. And these actual enlisted stormtroopers, essentially, or squad commanders, they said, all right, kill these women right here. And they're like, we're not going to do this. Take them prisoner. We're not killing these people. And then Crosshair, who's got one of the best voices out there, who sounds like a snake. He sounds like this. He says, so you're not going to comply. Good soldiers follow orders. And he shoots the dude right in the head, and then he orders them to kill the women and children. This is all in the show, by the way. I was like, this is fantastic.
Jeez, okay.
Yeah, it's very, very dark. But anyway, all that to say, yes, this is a really cool figure, and each one of the Bad Batch people can stand alone because it's gray gunmetal armor, which is really cool. And the Hunter one, we haven't seen that one yet, but it's the only one so far it's the only other one that's been officially announced. We've seen the prototypes already, but with the Hunter one, it comes with a head sculpt as well, which is kind of a modified Tim Morrison, you know, kind of cool. We got the, you know, the face paint on, but this is the one that is so unique because it's a gaunt version of Tamir Morrison. We've never seen that before. This is literally taking an animated form of him, you know, basically making him sick and pale. And I think this is one of the best Tim sculpts that are out there. And I mean, it's really cool. If you're a big Lobot fan, I mean, you can just, I don't know, customize this into a Lobot, I suppose. But I will display, mine will be here on Monday, by the way. I live on the fucking East Coast, so everyone gets theirs first. I'm kind of mad about that. But props to Sideshow for getting it day one out the gate. That's awesome. But yeah, I'm going to display mine without without the helmet on, because it just looks awesome. So yeah, this is one I think is a great pickup. I mean, you can't beat those colors. Those are sick.
Yeah, this is a pretty cool color scheme. I think Keco, and this is one for me, since I haven't watched Bad Batch, that falls into the boat of past, but looks cool, right? I do think this is a pretty cool and you know, colorful figure. I like the color scheme on it, the contrast with the gray, and it looks like green in there a little bit almost. Maybe it's just the lighting, but you know, in the red and the black, like I think there's some cool accessories here too with the arm and stuff like that. I mean, the helmet looks cool. For me, without having seen,
go back to that one where it's the extended arm with the gun. That was sick.
Which one? This one?
Or one after that one. Keep going. That one. That's sick. I like that.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. Yeah, and this is a unique trooper in that sense. It's a unique trooper in that it has a lot of different accessories and some different sort of like Terminator vibe stuff. You know, I agree with that. So I actually, like, without having seen the show, the head sculpt just throws me off for a little bit because it's not even before. Leao mentioned he looks like Brainiac from Suicide Squad, which he kind of does. But I guess the head sculpt with me, I'm just kind of looking at it and being like, I don't know. It doesn't like wow me.
Well, in that case, I mean, you got a really cool clone with really cool accessories and a really sick color palette.
Exactly.
And is there any other thing that you need to have? I mean, black and red. I mean, those are sick.
Yeah. See, like that pose, even that simple museum pose, like I think looks really cool with that armor. I do like this armor. This is something like that I'd almost like see myself playing in Battlefront or something. Like you would have this type of armor with this color scheme, and it would kind of draw you in. But yeah, it's pretty cool. So I'm excited for people to get it, and yeah, should be. Sideshow's already shipping them out, right, Keco?
Yeah, day one. Because I got the preparing to ship notice, and I was like, okay, cool. Because we talked about that. You know, I gambled when people started to have that, and it paid off. I got both the Throne and Echo on pretty much the same week that they were officially released. And if I was just a little bit closer to Sideshow, I would have it. I would have it already, and I'd take some really cool, fun photos with it. But yeah, it's already shipping. If you pre-ordered it, so yeah.
There you go. Well, we got to talk about something else that dropped last night, and this is the Droid set that actually popped up on Sideshow earlier this morning for $265. It's the R5D4 Pit Droid and BD72 droids. This is actually branded Book of Boba Fett because they all showed up in Book of Boba Fett when Mando took over the show. So this is an exciting little droid set. I think that, for people that want to complete a line or have sort of a diorama type display when hopefully they announce the N1. So you get 3 droids here, $265. Optical. What do you think, bro, about this droid set? I know probably what you're gonna say, but I want to hear, because at $265, I think people are there's a little bit of trepidation.
I mean, yeah, I get it. Like, I feel like this is an accessory, right? Like, we can compare this to R2, but it doesn't really have the bells and whistles of R2. It doesn't have the die castro,
or the presence. Yeah.
Well, look at this one here. It's got a bad motivator.
Yeah. So it to me, it falls into the category of accessories, kind of like the Mark 50 accessory, sort of deal. But even though it's a droid, a character, so to speak, $265, is it expensive? I guess, but that's just how it is. The R2D2 was what, like almost $300 or something like that? Like,
yeah, I think
something. That, yeah. So this is 3 little robots. Is it I feel like every accessory is expensive. That's the reason that Mark 50 accessory set is like 35% off or something, and that Grogu's accessory set is gonna suffer the same fate. Would this be? Sure. I'm guessing if I have, if history tells itself, then maybe it'll go down to 30% off. But yeah, I mean, we're gonna talk about that later on because I've seen the sheet. But at $265, I personally wouldn't, even if I was into this. And I was asking you guys earlier, I was like, why is it Boba Fett, not Mandalorian? Because didn't they appear in Mando? And you guys were like, no, it's in Book of Boba. Because no one loves Book of Boba. Only PJ likes Book of Boba.
Yeah, PJ, but yeah, he's
and I was surprised that they used this name instead of Mandalorian, because it feels like Mandalorian is, in terms of marketing, would sell more. It's like, oh man, I'm a Mandalorian completionist, But I get it, right?
Yeah. But, so Pablo was saying R2 was $270. So I guess you're getting 3 droids for 1, but I think most people would take R2 over that.
Right. Like, I mean, R2's presence and, like, I mean, it's R2.
Right.
You can't even compare it with these 3 droids. If you didn't put the name, I wouldn't know who they are.
I wouldn't know what to call them.
I'll be like, they're the ladies droid,
right.
And all that stuff. But $265, they're not going to come down to $150. I can tell you that. I mean, so this should be expected at this point, whether now it's up to you, whether you want to pay for it or not. But I'm glad that they made it. I'm glad that they made it. I won't pick it up, but for those who's completionist, who has this diorama thing going on and preparing for the inevitable, what do you call that? N1.
The N1 Starfighter.
N1 Starfighter.
Mando,
that they will never do.
Correct.
At least you can prepare for.
Dude, I think it is, Keco. I think it's happening.
Nope.
I think it's happening.
It's happening.
If it drops tomorrow, then
they'll be like, it's happening.
I am almost willing to make a wager that if it comes, I will buy you one, Will, because it's not coming. I'm not ready to make that commitment yet.
All right, because I'm almost in if you want that.
I will say is that I'm willing. There's got to be some stake in it for you as well.
Yeah, no stake for me.
So we need to think through that. But yeah, that's not coming, man.
Yeah. Probably. I don't know. We'll see. I think it will. But optical. So it's not going to be for you. But you're happy for people.
I mean, I said it before. It's not like they made this and they ruined my life. It's like, oh, why did you do this instead of X figure? no, they'll make it regardless. So cool. Yeah.
This is probably super cheap for them to make. So yeah, then they'll make a profit on this because it's super easy for them probably. But Keco, what about these droids, this droid 3-pack, if you will? What are your overall thoughts?
Odd to say the least. I think it would almost make sense if a Jawa was included, or the Jawa would have made sense if R5D4 was included with it. You know, we got that plastic donk droid, you know, that little egg weight or a paperweight type of thing that originally came with the Jawa that no one liked. And now no one can get a Jawa because they're like a bazillion dollars because everyone wants their Jawa, and then everyone waited not to get one. Anyway, long story short, a Jawa should have been given with this. This is like a Black Series build-up pack. It's very odd, you know, just because like I understand, you know, there's the legacy R5D4 that's been shown on the coming soon page for probably 10 years at this point, and it's great that it came off. But I mean, these are essentially like the Grogu frogs. You know, you got your little B2 droid right there. There is no way in hell I'm paying, excuse me, $260 for this, because R2 had electronic functions, and I don't think this does by any means. I think it's probably just a really hollow, cheap piece of plastic. And even with the pit droids, give us a couple more as opposed to just one. No one wants just one pit droid. So, and you're not going to army build this and like sell like 3 different R4s or anything. It's very, very odd. I'm sure people that want it will certainly get it, but I saw someone in the comments say Pelimoto coming. God, I hope not. That will sit. You want to see people complain. That is not going to be one that needs to go up for pre-order.
Gotcha. Well, this is the type of release too, Keco, when it does eventually get announced, people are like, damn it. Like I wanted X released, you know?
Padme win? Clone Wars Kenobi win?
Right, exactly, bro. Come on now. And then people be like, reissue Mark 46. And then they did.
I kind of missed that guy.
No, the Mark 6 re-release is the one now.
Is it now? Is it all Mark 6?
Yeah, it's all
Is
Mark
it the
6.
same guy? Like, has he turned his sights to Mark 6?
Oh, I have no idea.
Yeah, I hope so. I forget. They knew the guy's name, but he was always reissue Mark 46, and it was like a big line every post. The dedication. You got to admire it. So, but yeah, so, you know, this droid set, not going to be for me, but I think it's exciting for the people that do want it. But 265, I guess I'm a little surprised by that. But that leads us into our next topic. Should we complain about price? And this is kind of like the taboo topic in some way, I feel like, because I think, you know, I guess there is a large segment of the audience one way that says it goes both ways. I think it's kind of polarizing. One that says we shouldn't complain about price because it doesn't change anything. The other side is like, well, if we don't complain, how do they know, right? How do they know to hear our feedback and to change things? I don't really know where I fall on this, honestly, because I think it depends on the figure and it depends on what's included and where everything falls. But I do think all of us have probably understood at this point that the new norm is $300. Like $300 is the new basically. It's the new base price, $285 minimum. If it doesn't have a head sculpt, maybe $260, $270. But if it has a head sculpt, expect to pay $300 or above nowadays, especially since we're getting diorama bases, which we'll probably also talk about. But optical, what do you think? Should we complain about price? And I want to bring up a few recent ones. The biggest and most notable being Cobb Vanth. Because Cobb Vanth is the one that everyone has kind of, not everyone, but there have been a large vocal group that have, you know, complained about the $300 price. So optical, what do you think? Should we complain about price? Does it matter? Where do you fall on this?
I'm not gonna tell somebody not to do anything, you know, like I mean, and there's a flip side to this. You know, people were saying, oh, you should complain because this gets things done. You know, look at Tony Stank. I mean, that's a one-off, you know, like they are gonna change Tony Stark. That is their bread and butter. Should you complain? I mean, I'd love to hear people's thoughts. They are not wrong. You know, I'm going to put that first and foremost. When you complain about the price of this guy, especially now that you compare this to Black Adam, yes, he is overpriced because Black Adam is the same price with purse and he's DX. So yes, this guy is overpriced. With that being said, you know, those things on forums and all that stuff, I guess that's what it's for bitching. You know, I mean, we're gonna bitch about like your wife's like, look, have you seen this Cobb Vanth? God damn, this $300.
I know.
Your wife's gonna be like,
$300.
how about you don't buy it? It's like, well, I want to buy it, but it's $300. You know, like, I guess, I mean, throw it out there. But what I couldn't understand is the follow-up. It's like, oh man, this is $300. How can I start collecting and then turn around and buy an in art for $500? Right? Like, dude.
Which I was gonna share. I was gonna share that.
There you go.
like it's okay to complain, right? I just complain however you want. But when you start like dipping down to, it was like, this is why I can't collect Hot Toys anymore. It was like, all right. And now Hot Toys, I just bought 4 Hot Toys for $800 on Pop Culture. And now you're saying you can't buy Hot Toys anymore. Yes, you could. It's really cheap right now. And they're going to be like, well, no, the new, who told you to buy the new releases? But maybe just wait. I don't know. Have you seen the trend lately? You know, it's like, maybe Covenant is going to sit and maybe you can pick it up for $220. Well, what if it sells out? It's like, bitch, make up your mind. Do you want to buy it at $300 or not? It was just like, no one's forcing you to do this. Like, if it's stressing you out, stop collecting. It's supposed to be fun.
Yes, God.
But yeah, I mean, should we complain? Sure. If that makes you feel better venting out, then go for it. You know, like, I don't like this head sculpt. As irrational as it is, I've been here in this hobby for so long. I've seen stupid complaints. I've seen some things that has merit, some things that doesn't. So, I mean, I guess if it helps you sleep at night, but one thing's for sure, this is not going to go down. Not you complain and all of a sudden Hot Toys starts trending down. I was like, oh my God, the next release is 185. It worked.
Right.
No, it won't. But yeah, complain and you know what? Vote with your wallet. Don't buy it. Let the trend continue. Let them sit and buy it for cheap. That's how you show them that, hey, we won. But just by bitching around and then turning around and buying it anyway, and it doesn't really do anything. You know?
Those are the conflicting principles. Yeah, absolutely. Because if you say one thing and then you go out and buy it up anyway, then yeah, for sure, it sends mixed messages. Really, it sends a clear message that you're willing to accept it. You're just saying you're not. So because Hot Toys might at first be like, oh yeah, there's a lot of outrage about this. But look at those goddamn pre-order numbers. Like, this figure is selling, right? And they're going to be like, well, fuck them. That's what they're going to say. They're going to be like, we're going to sell it for this price. And we're getting diorama bases now and stuff and 445. So, I mean, we are getting more. And Lael pointed this out. Like, it was really nice because, I mean, he pointed out that he does, and we've all done it. We've all said, we want innovation and we want new things and more, but we don't want higher prices. So, it doesn't really work that way. So like InArt's a little bit higher. The Spider-Man, the diorama base, beautiful, beautiful figure. Price is higher, obviously. So we kind of have to accept both, right? They go together. But Keco, what do you think, man? I don't know if I've heard your opinion on this one before.
Oh boy. So I'm probably going to get people blasting me in the comments for this one.
Let's do it.
I'm probably going to get a little bit. People are going to look at me cross because. So I'll just go at it. So here we go.
Let's do it.
When you get into this hobby, you get into it with the idea that this is let's call it an elite level hobby. Okay. There's different sports I've got 2 analogies, then I'll get to my point.
Okay.
Bear with me here. We're getting somewhere. So when you grow up or whatever, and they said, okay, you can play basketball or you can play hockey. Hockey's going to be the more expensive sport because you need more equipment. There's all these different travel things. You're going to pay more money to play hockey. Basketball is a cheaper sport to play. And some people say, I don't want to play hockey. That's too much money. I don't want to do that. Same with soccer. I don't want to travel. I don't want to do that stuff. Okay, well, don't try to get into hockey and be like, why? I can't believe this sport's so expensive. Why did I get into this? Because you knew exactly what you were getting into. Same thing with the people that complain about gas prices. Okay, this is the one that's going to really get people upset. So I used to, when I was in college, I used to get so panicked whenever I'd see the gas go up 3 cents or something like that. Like, fuck, I got to get there and, fill up right now. And then I started like doing the math in my head. I'm like, okay, so the gas went up 10 cents. Okay, so multiply that by my 12-gallon tank. Okay, it went up $1.20 from what I usually filled up. Now, I understand, like in the grand scheme of things, those $1.20s add up if you fill up every week, okay? But then if, let's say it went up $1.20 every single week or whatever, then at most you maybe paid $100 total more a year in gas. And I started thinking through all those things about these incremental increases and such like that. It didn't stop me from filling up my car, anything like that. So let's get back to the toys here. I remember when I was doing like the Black Series and Marvel Legends, I was like, oh fuck it, I'm out. $27 now for a Marvel Black Series, or I'm sorry, a Marvel Legends Star Wars Black Series. They priced me out of this hobby. They're corporate greed. Fuck Hasbro. And that was the end. And they're like, I can't do it. It was $22, but now it's $27. That $5 broke me. And I understand everybody's economic situation is totally different. I'm not saying that, people that, make more, make less or whatever, but you know what your situation is before you get into these things. Okay. So if you're like, okay, I need to pay my light bill, I'm probably not going to pick up a figure this year. Okay. Or this month, you need to make those critical analytics yourself and come to a conclusion to be a responsible person saying, okay, I don't need a figure this year. I have other bills to pay. Then cool. That's fine. But if you have disposable income and you have a hobby, everyone's like, oh, I'm priced out. I'm not going anymore. I'm done. Well, where are you going to go? What are you going to do? Are you going to pick up a new hobby? Are you really going to pout and say that you're not going to collect anything anymore? Bullshit. Because everyone, if you're a collector, you collect. That's what you do. You will just go moving on to something else. And then you'll be like, well, this isn't as good as what I was collecting. And then you're going to back order and try to go collect all the things that you missed and pay more money than you thought because you have to have the figure. All that to say, should we complain about the prices? No, it is what it is. If you can't afford it at that time, kind of like what everyone else said, just, okay, wait, go get it later. If now is not the time, maybe your life events and life stuff will change later on and go back and get them. They will be there. They don't evaporate into thin air. It's not like energy that just disappears and goes away forever, type of thing. It's always going to be there. So all that to say is complain about the price. You can voice it, but it's not going to stop you from collecting. I want someone to say, I'm not collecting anymore because of a $10 price increase. Everyone's like, well, if you let them go $10, then it's going to be $20 next week and $30 the next month after that. Before you know it, I'm priced out. And then they'll be right back. I promise they will.
Yeah.
There you go. I'm done.
Hey, dude, I love that rant. Somebody's going to have to clip that one.
Well, like I said before, like I've been doing this for 10 years. I've heard it when it's 185 that became 200. I'm priced out. I've heard it when it becomes 220, 250. I thought it was in the increments of 50 when people was like, I'm out. Like, I'm going back to Black Series. Well, good luck with that. After seeing Hot Toys, do you think you can go back to Black Series?
No, you can't.
Like you can't. Like, so you're gonna like I said before, like if you're not spending it on Hot Toys, you probably buy a gun, you work on your car. I don't know, do something else. But this is the best. Like I tried all of that, and this is the best hobby that I've gotten so far because it actually gives back to me. Like this is the only hobby, like we talked about it early with Will, which is another segment. He bought Thanos, he didn't like it, turned around and sold it for pretty much what he paid for.
Yep.
Try doing that with some other hobby. Like try doing that with, when you just bought a gun, you turn around and you sell it for the same price as you bought it for, so it's try with a car, try put an exhaust in your car and then trade it in. Let's see if your catback would, net more money, in the dealer when you trade it. So like you said, this is a premium hobby. You should expect to spend this much. And historically, Hot Toys has increased $10 each year. I don't know why this is surprising. At least $10 each year.
At least. Yeah. It's about 25 now, probably.
Is there really anybody going to McDonald's and saying, fuck, it's $1.20 for a cheeseburger? I'm not going to McDonald's anymore. They priced me out. Everyone's still going. Everyone's still going back.
Before. I'm not going to drink milk anymore. It's $1 something now. It's just like,
yeah, no more milk for me. I'm out. But it's funny because that's a great point, Optical, someone recently commented on one of my videos this week. They're like, wow, looks like a lot of money that you wasted there. Do you really feel good about doing that? I'm like, yes, I do, because I'm happy that I spent my money on this, because just like Optical said, I walk back into my room and not investment, but what I put forward is looking back at me. If I want to go and eat at a nice dinner, it's not looking back at me. If I go back and, do an event, it's not looking back at me. Nothing is, you can go party, you can go drink, you can go, buy shoes, whatever it's going to be. I mean, everyone's got their hobby. If you want to go to a football game, cool, but this is what I choose to do. And if that's what I want to do, it's going to look back at me. And I'm said, I'm happy I spent that because I get to experience it every single day. And I'm reminded that I got this and it's mine. So
yeah. Because one thing I'll say just to wrap up the conversation is I do understand both sides of this, because I think sometimes with the price thing, when they do rise and maybe people do feel a little bit blindsided by it, they just want their voices heard. They want to be heard, whether it'll change anything or not. People just kind of want to voice their opinion. I think the key is doing it respectfully. Like if you really have an issue and just say like, hey, like this price increase is a little bit, more than I was anticipating. I'm a little disappointed by that. I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with that. Like maybe you should be less surprised by price increases in the future because it's just happening, right? It's becoming a more and more expensive hobby as we go. I guess the cost of materials are going up. Hot Toys know there's a demand for their product. InArt know there's demand for their quality apparently. So, and their materials are expensive. They're using real leather and die cast and whatever. So I don't necessarily inherently think that anything's wrong with complaining as long as you, I guess, go about it the right way. Like if you go and say, oh, like on every post, you're saying, oh, I'm priced out, like, fuck Hot Toys or whatever. Like, that's where it gets kind of like, okay, like we get it. But I think
it's
if you're voicing it,
people want to complain, and then they want someone to jump on with them, like, oh, I'm with you, bro.
Right.
I mean, sweet. Take your people over there and go do something, and then I'll look back for you. Hey, I'm looking to get market value or below for this figure that I missed out on. Because I was too mad at the time to go get it.
Right.
I'll see you on the BST, baby.
And also, nowadays, really, like I've said, it probably won't be the case with InArt, but I guess with Hot Toys, as far as we know, until something changes officially, really the price is not the price you're paying nowadays for like 90% of figures, right? You can get, a lot of times the figure is 30% off, 40% off. Like Battle Damage Thanos, I just paid like 50% off basically. It's so the listed price is not, it's like I said, buying a car nowadays. It's like,
yeah,
or like
that's the starting price.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need to buy Cobb Van for 300, and if you miss out on him, then revert back to what you just said before. I thought you were priced out, dude. It's just like, why are you kicking yourself now? Because it's sold out.
And also, if you're monitoring the groups, like all of us are pretty into this collecting hobby, right? So, like, if you're monitoring the groups each day, people are posting blue screens. Like, if Cobb Vanth goes suddenly to a blue screen out of nowhere, like, you'll know. Like, I get you can't check all day because you're working, got family, whatever, but there's also independent retailers that have them too. If you're outside the States, maybe a little more difficult. I don't want to, diminish or shortchange that because it might be more necessary to pre-order. But yeah, something to think about. Guys, we'll move to a next topic after this one, but Riley reviews. Riley, thanks so much, bro. Black Chrysanthemum, where are you at? That would sell. Yeah, I think Black Chrysanthemum probably would. I think he would be popular. He's a cool looking figure. So to me, yeah, I think it'd be pretty cool. But guys, let's move to the next one. A little bit lighter on this one, which I want to know two, not one, but two figures you want to see a 2.0 of, right? I want to lead with just one for myself to start. Well, I'll say I'll cheat and give it two here. This one. We need a 2.0. I know Keco would be very upset, or maybe not upset, surprised, right? Because I know the 5% thing, about 5% of Hot Toys, and Star Wars doesn't really get remakes or reissues as much. But, I am still... I'm going to put my money down and say that Hot Toys is going to make a Anakin Skywalker from Obi-Wan, and it's going to have two head sculpts. It's going to have a dark side and a light side, and it's going to be a DX. Not going to have the same base, obviously, but people are going to be pissed. That's what I can predict. So everyone who paid $650 for the dark side Anakin is going to be like, well, that sucks, right? You get the cool base. That's a little bit different. But I'm going to say a light side and a dark side Anakin would be a nice 2.0. What else would I like to see? Anything Terminator, honestly. I know Optical would be thrilled with that. Anything Terminator. Like, I would like to see a T1000 2.0, a T800 Battle Damage 2.0, T800 Clean 2.0. Not Salvation, though. I'd love to see also, Optical, I know you would love this, the Endoskeleton. I'd love to see another one of those. Yeah. Even if you made it, what was the most recent Terminator film? Dark Fate. Even if you made a Dark Fate Endoskeleton, I'd be like, cool, I'll get an Endoskeleton with that. But Optical, what do you think? What do you want to see a 2.0 of?
2.0, I would say Bane, because swappable arms, like you get them swappable arms.
Seamless arms.
With seamless. You don't necessarily need to make the shoulder seamless, because that would be Wonder Woman 2.0, but you give him swappable arms, kind of like Thor, that if you display him like this, it's seamless and bigger body, that would be nice. I'm going to cheat a little bit here. Drax badly needs a 2.0. But like I would say those are my two figures, but I guess you can call it that, because I think they badly need a 2.0. Like that, the Anakin, they might not need a 2.0, because when we talk about 2.0, that's improving something. They could release the same Anakin as it is, and I'm telling you, it's gonna sell tomorrow. I don't think they really need to improve anything just because of the price in the aftermarket. But Drax and Bane, I would say 2.0, because look at this guy. That's the reason I didn't pick him up. And I was just like, I don't want to pick up a Drax just for the sake of picking up a Drax, because he has long neck, the body's small, chest is saggy. It's expensive now, but it doesn't mean it doesn't mean it's good. It's just rare, But to throw things out there, just throw a monkey wrench. I want a 2.0 of DX11.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's gonna set the world on fire if they come out with a Joker 2.0 with InArt around the corner. That's just just to see things be spicy out there. I just come out with a rooted hair for $500. Can you imagine?
You think they would, though? You think they realistically would?
Just to spite
Just to fuck with in art.
Just to fuck with in art, I think they would.
They could be like, yeah. Well, the question is, would they do the rooted hair as well? Because Hot Toys rooted hair track record is kind of like, mixed, right? I don't know.
Maybe if they charge 500, if they charge 500, I think they'll be forced to.
They're gonna do optical. I think yours are very realistic. Joker and Bane are going to happen. It's just a matter of when. It's a matter of when. If they're doing Catwoman, they're doing Bane and Joker. Yeah. And a new Batman DX. They did that. So yeah, they're gonna milk this line. But Keco, what do you want to see a 2.0 of, dude?
So we're officially saying a 2.0 is an upgrade. So is that what we're officially saying?
Yep.
Okay, because all right. This is tough because it falls into the idea of, because not trying to be that guy, but there's a lot of figures I have. And so I don't want a 2.0 of a lot of things because, elitism, I have the one already. I don't want anybody else having what I have. But if I were to think about it, those are great choices that you guys gave. And I cheated a little bit and looked in some of the comments that some of the people said. I'm going to steal one of them from there. But one of the ones I do want, just because I get a lot of shit for it, is I need a 2.0 of Davy Jones. Okay. Because the one I have is the knockoff. He's officially a knockoff. He's Captain of Octopus, but it's a complete one-for-one recast of the Hot Toys version. But the Hot Toys version has a lot of issues. I would love a little more fabric as opposed to all just a complete plastic thing, a little more wet look, maybe even some, Purr's eyes or something, to where the eyes could move, something along those lines. But I would love an upgraded Davy Jones, just so I can actually have a Hot Toys one, as opposed to people complaining like, I can't believe you support knockoffs in your, I was like, what? I'm not paying $800. Do I want to pay $80 for this knockoff, or do I want to pay $800 for the real one? And the other one I looked just fine. So there's two I saw in the comments that I agree with. And only because my Winter Soldier, the actual Winter Soldier is I'm having a little bit of flaking here on his one arm. And I panicked a little bit about that. I was like, fuck, it's gone. I need a new one. And so I would love them to do a new updated version. But here's the thing. The 2.0 version, if you're going to do Winter Soldier, fix the pleather thing. But I want the mask with the eye black, because the figures that came out here are the wrong way. He's, clean eyes with the mask on. It needs to be the other way around. And they need to fix that. I would be very, very happy with that. Fix the chrome on the arm. Double jointed arm on the Winter Soldier. That would be great, because it's literally just, it doesn't bend any further than that. And for a figure like that, I would love to have it. And then I think one that everyone really, really wants, and everyone's saying the Han and Chewie 2.0. I don't think you need to improve those. I think they're great. So they don't need a 2.0 on that. If you want to re-release, cool. But Farm Boy Luke is pretty rough. Farm Boy Luke is pretty rough. That head sculpt, they've never been able to nail Mark Hamill right. His outfit doesn't fit right. His hands look like woman's hands, honestly. And then the head sculpt is, I don't know who that is. It comes with two different types of hair to put on, and none of them look right. And I just think we need an update on his head sculpt at the very minimum.
Yeah. Well, Keco, this is one I was actually hoping for. I know Optical probably was too, but I have this original Winter Soldier, but it does have the pleather. I'm actually shocked, honestly, that they did not do a 2.0 from the show, because he has that scene in the show. Yeah. And the second I saw that scene, I was like, there it is. I was like, there's a 2.0, because this is a very popular figure from my understanding. And it's a beautiful figure. Yeah. And it's great. And that would be a perfect opportunity. Real leather, make a 2.0, improve the head sculpt with the eye black. Even like you did with Black Panther, show the photos if you want. Show how this one's better than the old one. I'm still thinking we might get that at some point. That is the Winter Soldier look. Optical and I've talked about this. He became like an accountant after that. So
the shorter the hair goes, the lamer he gets.
Yep. And he's such a badass character, but they just kind of nerfed him in every way. Even in that scene in Falcon and Winter Soldier, when he's back in the Winter Soldier outfit, I'm like, dude, this scene is awesome. That's what I love Winter Soldier for. We need a 2.0 of that. I'm with you. And I would probably buy it, and I have the original. So yeah. Guys, I got another similar type question. What figure needs to be put up for PO right away? I'm going to try to stay realistic if you can. Something that you think is going to come out sometime soon, but it's just not up for pre-order. A common example might be the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, right? That's probably what most people would say, right? You could even go with 2.0 if you want. I saw some comments in there, and I agree, a 2.0 Avengers Hulk. They could very easily go Endgame Hulk, from Avengers 1. I would probably buy that, because I really do want a Hawk and I don't like the other ones. So what do you think, Optical? What about Vulture? Riley dropped Vulture in the comment. Mace Windu. Is there anything there that you...
Mace, me personally, I would love to have an Endgame / Infinity War Falcon. That's one of the most expensive nowadays, like that Falcon. Because I know we're getting the Captain America
Civil War one.
Right. Like I know the Civil War one, that's like going for 500, if not more. They slap an Endgame tag on that because people like myself, I know there's a Captain America one, but I want Falcon because I wanted my Endgame lineup to be complete. So they announced a 2.0 of this, or just again like the same ones, just replace the head sculpt with the new one that they're getting. I think it will sell. Like slap Endgame on it, and then the Hulk 2.0, like this, the 2012 Hulk. I think most people missed out on these two figures, this and Hulk. So I think they would sell. Like realistically, I mean, how hard could they, do they need to work on this guy? Maybe just swap head sculpt, from the new one. Other than that, the ones that like coming up now, movie-wise, Hawkman, is that his name, from Black Adam?
Oh yeah. Yep.
That'll be an interesting one. Just I don't know.
That would be cool.
I don't know anything about the character, but just by looking at him, I mean, he looks like Falcon. It looks cool, with those wings and all that stuff. So depending on how the price, of course, but I feel like that would sell too. I mean, I don't doubt Black Adam. I mean, that's The Rock. The Rock can sell you. The Rock can sell you sand on the beach, and you would buy it. It's like, what is that sand? Oh, cool, I'll buy it.
You didn't hear my tequila rant. Then.
What'd you say, Keco?
I was gonna say you never heard my tequila rant about him at Disneyland.
I think you told me that, didn't you?
I went on the fuck the Rock type thing. So.
You did.
Yeah, he ain't getting no sand from me.
Oh. Yeah, at this point, the guy, I think the movie's gonna be good, but yeah, as a figure, I would love to see that Hawkman.
Yeah, and there's a good comment too. There's so many good ones. 2.089 Batman. I know people would go crazy for that. Vulture, Andrew, Spidey, remaining Bad Batch. Yeah, I actually even like M'Baku. Dora Milaje, I do understand, and Okoye people do want. M'Baku would be pretty cool to me. I think that would be tempting.
Well, you know what they missed the boat on? That Predator, the new one.
Dude, fuck yes, that Predator. I would be all over that.
Yeah, because a lot of people were like crazy on that, and people were like,
they expected it to be that good.
I don't think so either. Yeah,
people were like, ISO Predator, any Predator, just give me a Predator.
Yep, you saw that. You guys saw that. Like once Prey came out, everyone was like, any Predator, I want to buy a Predator. Like and that I even felt that temptation. But I love the look of the new Predator. I really liked it. I liked the mask and everything. I thought it was pretty cool. So. But Keco, what about you, bro? Like, what figure do you feel like you need to be put up? That needs to be put up for PO right away.
I think most people have been saying it, and especially the guy in the comment when he saw R5 this morning, is that Padme definitely needs to come. That's at some point, as I said, I think there is definitely a rights issue or something there, because there's no logical excuse for her not to be out there. I mean, that is a figure that would sell, needs to sell, and she needs to be out. So that would be one that everyone wants. But for me, I said it earlier on, we're going right back to the Bad Batch. Of the ones that have not been announced, I need Crosshair, because Crosshair is my favorite Bad Batch character. Echo's cool, but because Crosshair is that like neutral. Well, he's pretty evil. He committed war crimes, but he's chaotic, and he's the person that you can kind of empathize with because he's lost. It's a good story. You should maybe check it out sometime. But I want to see Crosshair. He's a cool figure.
Yeah. Let me ask you, are you going to buy, let's say they announced Padme, and if this is the Padme, would you buy this?
I would find a new body, because I'm not for sure what's going on with them saggy titties.
What's going on with that area? I was going to check. I mean, not to be that guy, but it just looks like a toy kind of,
Well, this is how old is this picture? 8 years at least?
Yeah, it's probably pretty old, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this was revolutionary back then.
I'm with you, the optical. I think we're all thinking the same thing. But Mace Windu for sure would be one big one for me. I remember at one point, no one would buy it except for me, but I remember at one point they showed optical. You probably remember that quarter scale Kylo Ren with the head sculpt. It was Force Awakens, actually. That would be cool.
Oh, that was a thing? I didn't even know
Yeah,
about that
they showed it at like a Comic-Con or something, and then they never made it. So,
I think that has sailed. That ship has sailed.
Yeah, that ship sailed. It's not happening. But I would get it. I'd be one of one. It's an edition size of one. So, guys, the only reason I'm asking this next question is because this literally just happened to me. So, what do you do? I already solved the problems. It's not like I needed live advice. I already sought advice and counsel, and I acted. So what do you do when you unbox a figure and you don't love it? Optical. Has this ever happened to you? So would you even know how to relate to this?
So I was so excited about Flash. Because I was just like, oh, DC doesn't put up a lot. So let me get this. I got it for discounted too. Got Flash, opened it up, and it's not what I thought it was gonna be. Like I knew that I saw the prototype pictures, but the excitement was not as much there. Because I like to get this kind of figures where no one likes. I kind of foster these kids, like Danobi says, So I got this guy, and I was just like, oh man, it's not as good as I thought it would be. But I bought him in the first place. I like him, but it's just not up to the standards that I thought it would be. So I kept him. Yeah, because it was cheap anyway. There's no with this guy, there's no point of me selling him because I would just lose at least $60. So I was just like, all right, there's a reason why I bought him in the first place. I like him. I'll make it work. I was like, all right, this is the good news. The good thing about 1/6 is that, especially I bought this under 200. Like you could kind of do that. I was like, all right, I'll make it work. I'll get a second body, maybe use the head sculpt somewhere. But I like this. It's just not what I thought it would be. So I just kept it. I know what you did. I know you sold.
I sold mine the same day.
I know you sold your Thanos, but I want to remember why I got it, because I never buy a figure for the sake of reviewing it or because it's this. Even the ones on sale, I have a vision why I bought them. Like I like them at some point. I just were not willing to buy it for that price. But for the most part, I wouldn't buy something like I said earlier, that Black Widow, I wouldn't buy it for 125 because I already have one. But with this guy, I was like, all right, let me hold it. And now I still don't love it, but I still don't love it, but it's there. Like maybe one day I'll get an inspiration or something, but I know that I can pick him up anytime that kicks in, that I don't need to go like ISO, because I missed out on it. I guess I got him for pretty cheap. So that softens the blow a little bit. So.
Yeah. And for me, like I said, guys, the reason I asked this question is because I bought the pop culture endgame battle damage Thanos, right? Got it in hand. I don't know. I'm going to take a little bit of heat for this. I don't really like it that much. Like it's okay, right? I have the Infinity War one, and that's my favorite. And also, to be fair and full transparency, I have the Iron Studios endgame statue, and I was comparing them unfairly, but ultimately I decided I didn't need it, right? And I sold it. I lost $1 in the transaction as far as after shipping and fees and everything, right? I lost $1. So at the end of the day, nice little experiment, but I sold it later that day, Keco. Got it in hand, unboxed it, and I was like, this thing needs to go. It needs to go. So I sold it. And the base, I'm going to end it on this one. Optical, you have to put his foot up on the rock. Otherwise, it's not going to work with the pole.
It's not going to work. It's a dumb position of the pole.
The pole and positioning. And like Thanos is too big to stand on the base unless you put his foot up on the rock. But what if I don't want to put his foot up on the rock? What if I want to put him just standing there, right? I cannot without the pole.
Now you're just being an a-hole by not putting his foot on the rock.
Exactly. I'm not following the pose that should be done. But anyway, Keco, what do you do, man? Have you ever unboxed a figure and you didn't love it? I know you did with the Power Rangers. So don't play with me because I know that you did that.
So that's exactly my mind immediately went to that because
you got to go to your PTSD on this one.
Going back to Black Widow, man, there's a lot of red in my ledger, and that is one I'm still trying to recoup on. Is because I don't know what it was. I mean, I grew up with the Power Rangers, and I was like, this is a cool opportunity to get all 6. This, I think maybe even 7 because I got White Ranger and the Green Ranger with them. I was like, this is cool. This is awesome. I've got a good deal on eBay, and they came in and I got them, and damn if I didn't say those were some of the shittiest figures I've ever had. They were the Star Ace ones, not the 3-0 ones, the Star Ace ones, the
Toys.
Ace Toys, sorry, yeah.
Ace Toys, yeah.
The Ace Toys ones.
Don't disparage the name of Star Ace.
My bad. It was in my head because we had talked about that right before we got on here. Star Ace stuff. And so I was sitting there, and like the way like the pegs, like all the pegs were breaking off. Like as soon I was like, I can't even sell these now because all the pegs are broken. They're all broken. And so I couldn't get that situated. And I'm like, I had it for like 3 days, and I like tried to put them in a display to look at them, and I was like, this looks so stupid. For one, why did I get this? These do not fit with my current display. I got to get these out of here. And so I threw them back on eBay. I was like, it's cool. I'll at least probably make 80% of what I had. 50% of what I paid for them.
Yep, I've done that.
And so that one was rough. But then the other one, one that I thought was going to be cool is this was before the General Grievous reissue or whatever you want to call that, 2.0, when they fixed the arms, which they didn't. So I found a General Grievous, and I got Grievous in, and I never held him in my hand before, obviously. But as soon as I opened up the box, I picked him up. I was like, oh, because it's so light and frail and fragile. And I'm like, this is the most disappointing figure I own. There's 2 figures that I currently own still that I'm super disappointed with. This one simply because it's super frail, but I needed a Grievous. If you want a Grievous in your collection, this is the only way you're probably going to get it is through Sideshow. Now I do feel good because I got the battle damaged exclusive faceplate, so I feel a little bit elite because they didn't offer that in this re-release. The other one I wasn't a fan of is that I went to my local comic shop and got the comic Iron Spider, the red and gold one with like the 3 arms as opposed to the normal, what I'm talking about from the PS4 game.
PS4 game.
Yeah, the comic Iron Spider. I got that one up and I'm like, yeah, the arms are cool, but I don't like this suit. I don't like this figure. And so that is my second figure in my collection that I'm like, why do I still have this? But at this point, I can't sell it. There's no place to put it.
There's no market for it right now.
There's no market. And he just sits in the corner of the DTOF with another Spider-Man in front of him. And that's what it is. If I hate it, I'll try to sell it. But if I need to keep it because I need that piece in the collection, because I needed a Grievous, and then there was no market for the other one. So, because I learned my lesson on the Power Rangers, there was no market for that either. But I should have just looked a little harder. But damn, it's such a letdown when
it is a letdown. But I feel like it's like every situation is a little bit different. But yeah, and like I said, we don't want to disparage any of these figures. I mean, like some of them are really good. They're just not always for the collector that bought it. So that's how I feel. Like. Battle Damage Thanos, I have Iron Studios and I have Infinity War, so I'll be fine, right?
Yeah, did 3-0 killed the value of your Ace toys? Is that what happened?
They probably did. That probably
3-0 was cheaper.
It was around that time. Depending on what you like or whatever, some of the head sculpts, some of the helmets I thought were better on the Star Ace ones, honestly. Here I go, there's Star Ace again.
Star Ace.
But yeah, well, there's a little person right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I didn't know if they had it or not.
Yeah, right.
But,
you're selling him optical.
Those are the ones I missed.
Nice. But yeah, guys, we got one more topic to talk about for the evening. Bases. I know Optical's answer, but I want to go with him first nonetheless. And the reason I pulled up this one is because I knew this is like, I feel like the base that I've seen that's pretty badass, right? This Spider-Man with the Sandman base. It's $445, but this thing is pretty goddamn cool. So this is like a diorama base done right. So Optical, do we prefer them? Because they do come with a higher cost. I know you're the diorama guy. Right? Have you come to, prefer that figures come with a diorama base and you're willing to pay that extra because they create that more immersion? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, if I can sell this guy, I would.
Always. I'm sure someone might buy him out there.
But, no, but I do, because it's the good thing about 6 scale is it's optional. I understand if you only have like 10, 20 figures, diorama base are awesome. But once you reach 30, 40, and you have like limited space, then they take up space. Guess what? You don't have to display him with the diorama piece. Take him out, put him on the oval base that you buy on eBay for $7, and now you don't have the diorama base. Pull them out when you need to take pictures. I know Keco can relate. They're essentials. Like they create like a 3-dimensional space that you don't. I do Photoshop, obviously, but as much as possible, I want practical effects. So if I could, just blur this in the background here and there. And for those who don't know, dioramas are expensive. They're like $100 per, like if you don't buy it. So these bases are pretty cheap if they come packaged with a hot toy. Now, if you're running out of space, like I said, put them away. And you'll be like, then why did I take the diorama piece in the first place? Well, if you're taking pictures, you can pull it out anytime. If you're not, then maybe you shouldn't. That's why they offer 2 different, SKUs, I suppose. And even if you don't like it, in your case, Will, the Thanos one, I know you have problems with it. I know, I love the base. That Thanos one can be used on any figure. Like if you're taking pictures, if you put your camera below, you can make that, scene where he's in a cliff or something. So I love that base personally. I would even suggest with Hot Toys, build kind of like like the Build-A-Figure from Hasbro or something. But this one's build a diorama, where you have certain pieces where if you buy the set, you can create like a massive set. Or if you're not, let's say you buy Fantastic Four and you only want, one figure in there, then at least you have like a rock base, which is pretty cool. Like, again, I love getting those little pieces. It's just me, like this guy, I could use it for Assassin's Creed or not just Black Adam. If I'm taking pictures, I can put Spider-Man, on the ledge or something. But yeah. I'm all for it. Like the difference between a diorama base and a non-diorama base is less than 100 for the most part. For those who thinks that's expensive, go to Big Bad or any site and just type Diorama base. You'll see they're upwards of $70 right away, and they're no name. So I'm all for it. Outside of the sand base, I don't.
Why not a diorama base? The Cobb Vanth, I think that added to the price a little bit because it's not the simple sand base they keep reusing. It's like a wood type base. I mean, it's still going to be plastic, but you know,
see,
it's
this one is kind of tricky though, Will, because this is you can't use this for photography. This is specifically just a base, like
right. It's a little bit different, but at the same time, like it does have a little more going on to it than your typical Star Wars base. So. Yeah, no doubt about it. But Keco, what about you, man? I know space is always a factor. Funds are a factor. What about diorama bases? Do you prefer them or not?
Space is always going to be the big factor for me. Mainly at this, like coming up in another video, I'm talking about like how I'm moving on from stands in general, because I don't have the actual space to put the stands in the displays anymore, kind of at this point. So if it's going to be a diorama base, it's going to have to be something spectacular for me to want it, just because I don't have the room for them. The ones I think that are spectacular, that are worthy, are the Empire Strikes Back kind of the Darth Vader base for that one, the Cloud City base. I think that's fantastic. I don't know if it counts or not, but I mean, the Boba Fett throne, the throne is pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah, that would count.
That's awesome. But you kind of know what that is going into it. I would love them to kind of just be its own thing that you kind of get yourself. I don't want them packaged, honestly, with the figure, unless it's for that specific figure, you know, like the throne for Boba Fett. That makes sense. But I just don't got the room for them, man. But if I'm going to have a base or whatever, and they're going to put the name on it, that's the one thing I don't want, because as he was talking about, like if you're going to do photography or whatever, I don't want Black Adam sitting next to, you know, Spider-Man. Essentially, you'd have to Photoshop all that stuff out. So if you are going to go base, you know, keep the name off it. That's the one thing I would say.
Yeah, that makes sense. And maybe you just have something separate you could put next to it.
I'm more of a fan of like diorama pieces as opposed to bases, you know, environmental pieces. Like I love like the little, like Wicket comes with like the little plants and things. I like that. Those are cool.
Okay.
And I think that Obi-Wan coming out comes with some rocks, you know, those are cool. Yeah. I know you were talking about like display based pieces. I think Big Bad's got, it's like a little base so you can put Ebony Maw on, like the rock pillar, you know what I'm talking about? Yep. That thing's like $65. I wanted that because I thought it looked cool. I was like, hell no, I'm not paying $75 for 4 little stones stacked on top. But I mean, just even that Mark 46 one or whatever, that's just too much for me. And I have no place to put that.
Yeah, I get what you mean. It's a pretty badass base though. I do like this, but yeah, it does take up space, absolutely. But guys, great show. Lots of great thoughts in there. Thanks so much everyone for joining in the chat.
Lots of heated talk too.
Dude. The price shit. The price is always the most spicy topic that you could talk about, I feel like. But let's address each panel member and, you know, of course, see what they're up to. And like I said, thank you both for joining. Optical, dude. What's coming up on Optical 20, man?
Oh, man. I got that thing from Pop Culture. So
okay.
I got a lot of old figures. I'm still shooting them. But, you know, if I can get away from this guy, then maybe I'll finish and he left. Maybe I can edit them one day. But yeah, I mean, maybe I don't know. Maybe another Rambo 3.0. I think that's the first one would come out. So
nice. Well, dude, that sounds exciting, man. And maybe I'll get that Rick Grimes. You're selling me on it. So, you know, could be something to pick up. But Keco, Sir Keco, rather. What's coming up on your channel, man? Thanks for joining as well.
Yeah, this is a call to action at this point. So I have another video coming out as soon as I get 3 more subscribers, because I specifically say in the video, thank you for getting me over 4,000. I'm at 3,997 right now. So if you're not subscribed to my channel, let's go ahead and get that taken care of right now. Let's get over 4,000. That way I can release the video so it doesn't look stupid when I'm saying, hey, we're over 4,000, when I'm not, you know. But the next video coming out is about basic maintenance and what I do essentially to clean the display, clean the figure, maintain what we currently have. Essentially, we've put all that money and effort into these figures. Let's give them the proper love that they deserve. So that's the latest video coming out on the channel as soon as we get to 4,000. And obviously the Instagram, I have no idea what's going on there. I did like a collection shot of the Book of Boba Fett guy, and that blew the other photos out of the water. I'm like, the photos I actually take time on get no love. And then the one of me putting it on a shelf with a light behind it, apparently that one got like 600 views or likes or something. So I don't understand Instagram, but if you do want to check out Toy Photography and the Collection, you can feel free to go over there as well.
See, there we go.
Keco Collects.
Yep, Sarah Keco, master of horses. That's it. That's what Keco is at this point. But guys, thanks so much for joining. Thanks so much for contributing in the chat. Lots of great discussions going on over there. I can see it. So yeah, thank you guys all for the support. And yeah, I'll be on Collectors Mingle this Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And we'll have I guess you call it the Core 4 back together, the Let's Talk reunion. We'll have PJ, Optical, Leo, and myself on there. And still got to come up with topics for that one. Optical, I'm not sure if we should go down memory lane a little bit. I'm not sure. So I don't know if we want to do that to people because it's a lot of feet talk. It's a lot of meat and other things. So
I'm ready to talk about my meat. So
yeah, right. You'll come with the hot dog ready. So yeah, but guys, thanks so much for joining. That'll be Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. I'll be on Layals next Wednesday, of course, as always at 9:15 Eastern. And I should be on Aries Monday. I think it's at 8:15 or something like that. I'm not sure. But and when Optical does a live stream, I'm sure I'll probably be there, hopefully. So
hey, Will, I'm by the way, guys, like I have a Bulls channel, so just check out on my thing. But that's not what I'm plugging. I'm plugging that around November I'm gonna start streaming again. You know why, nice. Will? You know why? It's what do you call that? The AdSense is
that's what it is. Well, I've already know Keco knows too. It's going up right now. It's definitely going up.
Is it going up now?
It's on the rise. Yeah, October, November, December are like the core months. Yeah.
Guys, I'm going to start streaming every day. So.
Every day. Live streams daily, baby. No, but thanks so much for joining, guys. Be on the lookout for all these guys and their great content. And yeah, and I'll pop up on channels who will have me every so often. But yeah, peace out, guys. Have a good weekend. And thanks for joining. Bye.